I want to create in the most authentic way that I can. And so I don't want to project. I want to be here in this moment right now. And I can be aware of the camera. I can be aware of the technology. And I can let any pressure go of me needing to sound a certain way, or me needing to say a certain thing, or maybe me needing to try to appear a way. And I just want to be. And let everything else go in this moment here, the silence. It's the sweetest thing I've heard all day. I'll say that. So today on the podcast, it's a return to form. I mean, gee whiz, it's a return to form of just no headphones. When I put the headphones on, I get all presentational, blah, 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 because I hear my voice. It's less authentic. It becomes a talk show. This is not a talk show. I am a guy. I am me. I'm here in my room. And this is an outlet and an authentic expression. That's what I want the pod to be. That's what it is. That's what it will be. And this is what I want to return to even in my own life. So that's what I want to get into here is what have I been learning the past couple, really it's the last 2 months. What have I been experiencing? Well, I've been experiencing, as I've talked about, all this identification, all this worry, all this identifying with a self-image, all this identifying with seeking my self-worth in things outside of me. Living from a place, thinking from a place of scarcity, constantly thinking, constantly worrying. I've been living in this fear-based mindset. And I've been worrying, I've been stressed, and why? The grand question, why? And this month I've been reading The Power of Now. I've been reading The Power of Now again, and it's like, man, I need it. And the first week of reading it, no changes were happening in my mind. I was stuck in this muted, dulled state of constantly being stuck in psychological time. And yesterday I read the book. I was on like page 50 or 60 or something. And it was the first time in months I was in line with the present. It was the first time in a long time that I experienced the feeling of wordlessness, the feeling of true sensing the moment, prioritizing the current moment, and just being in that. And noticing when my mind projects into the future, starts thinking, starts fearing what is to come in the future, starts worrying about what might happen. I notice it. I go, oh, I'm the silent watcher in my own mind. And I notice that thought and I let it go. And I'm back into the moment. What problem do I have right now? Oh yeah, I don't have any problems because I'm here. And I have wordlessness. I stare and I feel the stillness. I notice the space. I notice the sounds. I have the window open in the other room. I hear the sound of outside. I'm aware. And I feel this behind the veil of our constant mind chatter. There's this something deeper, something a lot more potent. And out of that emerges love. Out of this current moment, appreciation and gratitude emerge. I feel as though I am love. And this is here at all times. This is always here and available to us as conscious beings. As human beings. We're human beings, not human doings. And we're always, in our culture, we're always trying to do. Do this, do that. Do something to achieve something that we don't have now. Do to get what we don't have. Do to get to a means to an end, something. I mean, and I'm more tapped into the is, the am. I am here. And these feelings of, wow, this now, the power of the now, out of it's just so much love comes. And I feel. I stop thinking and I start feeling, and I lose the concept of time. Yesterday, in my present state, as I'm reading, I remember getting up and consciously thinking about each step, feeling really aligned with the visual feedback of me walking across my apartment, of the sensation of my feet hitting the floor, noticing the light, noticing the silent stillness of every object. I'm present, and I look over at the clock. And it says 2:44, and I had this really weird thought that there is no such thing. 2:44, there is no such thing. So, I do have some show notes today. Like I said, not trying. It's another thing. A trying means that you are trying to get somewhere that you not are. I don't like the word try. Today I do have some show notes, and I am a return to my present form. So what will I cover here in this moment, right now? Well, let me just feel. Let me literally feel. Let me not identify. Let me be aware of what sensations are going on inside me. Well, I'm a little self-conscious that this podcast isn't going to be good. I'm a little self-conscious that it's not going to make sense. I'm a little self-conscious that someone's going to see this and make fun of me. I'm a little self-conscious that I'm not good enough, that my podcast isn't good enough. I'm definitely identifying with the podcast. And for obvious reasons, I think. But this is so necessary for my well-being, to peel back these layers of identification in the face of what my mind wants to latch on criticism, in the face of my mind wanting to latch on to self-doubt and worry and fear. It's so important that I practice the exercise of not identifying with everything that's not me. I am not this podcast. I am not. I'm not. I am a human in 2024 that has access to technology, that is experimenting and letting things be and being in the present moment that just so happens to be captured by technology. I am not this podcast. I'm not. In saying that, it's like a weight's lifted. It's like, we attach all this weight to ourselves, to our lives. We identify with our work. I am this. I identify with a sickness. I mean, last podcast, all I said was I'm sick and I'm stressed and I'm identifying with all these negative emotions. I'm not that. I'm not. The truth is that I'm here and aware. And what problem do I have right now? Let me sit here and think. I'm breathing. I'm aware. I can see. And I feel really good. This book is really important. It really unlocks something quite magical. And I actually wanted to share a little bit from the book. Let's see, what the show note says, page 58 through 63, and I had some things underlined. 58. Oh, yeah. Kind of hard to see because I'm already in a kind of a darker room and I have pit vipers on. And I know I look intense in the pits. But man, I feel soft as a feather. I feel so light, so unburdened. I don't want to one-up anybody. I don't want to come across as something I'm not. I don't want to compete. I don't want to one-up somebody, like I said. I don't want to have any emotions of anger, any emotions of jealousy, any emotions of tearing other people down so I somehow feel better about myself. I don't want to tear anything down. And that's because I've disassociated from this fear-based mindset. That's so easy to fall into. It's the natural state that we allow as people. And it's damaging to us. It's a toxic way of being that we don't even notice. We're controlled by our minds. Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Okay, this says, the present moment is all you ever have. It's all we ever have. It's all we know. We use the past to create our self-identity. Oh, I'm this person that's lived in these places, that has this family, that it's all from our memory. It's an illusion. As weird as it sounds, it's an illusion. All you truly are experiencing, all you ever have experienced, all you ever will experience in your whole life is the current moment. It's the realest, truest thing is the current moment. The fact that you're able to not be controlled by your instincts. We're not animals. We are not constantly in a state of trying to survive, constantly in a state of trying to find food, constantly in a state of being directed by instinct. We are not that. We are conscious. It's the thing that separates us from everything else in the whole universe. And we it's a double-edged sword. But the present moment is all we ever have. It's all we're ever going to have. And it is freedom to appreciate the now. True freedom. Okay, I want to read this part. I'm going to lift this up. I can't see. Okay, So Toll ask, how does this mind pattern operate in your life? Are you always trying to get somewhere other than where you are? Is most of your doing just a means to an end? Is fulfillment always just right around the corner, or confined to short-lived pleasures such as sex, food, drink, drugs, or thrills and excitement? Are you always focused on becoming, achieving, and attaining, or alternatively chasing some new thrill or pleasure? Do you believe that if you acquire more things, you will become more fulfilled, good enough, or psychologically complete? Are you waiting for a man or woman to give meaning to your life? Yes, that is all I do. That's all I've been doing for the past 2 months, is thinking about where I need to be in order to feel a more positive way. And it's this spinning the wheels on that. It's my mind constantly, and me unconsciously being privy to it, where every day I wake up and identify with my negative thoughts. Dang, I'm stressed. Dang, I have to go to work today. I don't want to. I create worry. I marinate on worry and fear. I go through the whole morning fearing the day fearing the part of the day where I have to go to work because I fear being rejected. I fear not making enough money. I fear not being able to provide. I fear. And it's like I identify with it and I'm bombarded by it. And this book just undoes it like so quickly. What's the way out of it? There's some people that think they will never be free of their problems. And they live their whole life identifying with their problems. And it becomes their identity. And their mind cannot understand the idea of not being their negative identity. There's some people that grew up, traumatized, hurt by people in their lives that had, trauma when we're kids. And what do? We learn to express that as we get older. Hopefully we learn to express that. But we identify with it. We look at our past and go, I am the way I am now because of my past. And we can attribute a lot of the negative consequences in our life, we can attribute it back to, well, it's because I look like this. It's because I'm this ethnicity. It's because my dad did this. It's because I never had this growing up. We can identify and we can use the past to explain why, to justify why we're hurt in the now. And it's a vicious cycle, and it can be very, very challenging and almost seemingly impossible for someone to step outside of, you are not your past. You are not the hurt of your past. And I underlined sex, food, drink, drugs, or thrills. Man, that's all I can pursue at some points in my life, is I need something to feel a certain way. Vicious cycle. Page 61. You may find it hard to recognize that time is the cause of your suffering or your problems. Time, 244. There's no such thing as time. Time. We need time for our practical life situations. We're meeting a friend, we need time. Thank God we have time. But time in the sense of future and past is not necessary to 80 to 90% of our day-to-day. Remy, come. And the other thing is just negative thoughts will jump. I'm noticing as I'm reading The Power of Now again, all the negative thoughts that jump out at me. I get mad at Remy. And I talk down to him. Like, why? I'm in the gym. I see somebody and I have to judge. I have to make a judgment on them. Why? I don't have to. I'm noticing a lot of my negative thoughts. I'm observing them and letting them go, and then returning to the now. other podcasts, when Remy meows, I might get angry. Oh, he's ruining the podcast. I might get mad at Asia for something that I, when I could just love her. I could just be more loving, and just all this negativity can really cloud out the good and what we're capable of in our lives. My football coach back in high school, I remember him saying, like, we are a team and every person matters. And he used this interesting analogy. He said if there was a delicious bowl of ice cream and we dropped one little pellet of poop into the ice cream and mixed it up in there, he was like, would you eat that ice cream? And he was illustrating that the smallest bit of negativity can completely taint all that is good. And I believe this is what we do with our minds, is that we identify with this fear-based mindset. That's the best way to sum it all up, is a fear-based mindset of anxiety, fear, worry, regret, not feeling good enough. It's all fear-based. And we can step out of that. We can step out of it. And how do we do that? Oh yeah, it's all about the now. And there's a couple more things, and then we're going to tie this up. So this is what actually pulled me into it yesterday when I was reading this little tidbit, is use your senses full. Well, if you are listening to this podcast and you're like, okay, I see the value. This guy's explained the value of the current, of the now, but I don't know how to tap into that. Here is exactly how you tap into it. Here is how you become present. Toll says, use your senses fully. Be where you are. Look around. Just look, don't interpret. See the light, shapes, colors, textures. Be aware of the silent presence of each thing. Be aware of the space that allows everything to be. Be aware of the space that allows everything to be. Listen to the sounds. Don't judge them. Listen to the silence underneath the sounds. Touch something, anything, and feel and acknowledge its being. Observe the rhythm of your breathing. Feel the air flowing in and out. Feel the life energy inside your freaking daggone body. Allow everything to be, within and without. Allow the isness of all things. Allow the isness of all things. Isness. He literally says isness. ISNESS. Move deeply into the now. So practically just use your senses to feel the moment, to acknowledge the moment, to be observational of the moment. And a good a common trigger is, as someone who is new to this tries to meditate and feel. Remy, be careful. The camera's up there. We do. Remy, I'm aware. Remy's on the freaking pod, dude. No, Remy, no. He did it, and I have to react, and I'm not meditative anymore. Ow, Remy. And you know what? Are we still recording? And you know what? Despite that chaos that just occurred, I let it go. Just like that. No need to harp on it. If I was identified with my podcast, that would ruin me, because that means, this isn't going to be perfect. This is going to ruin the flow of it. I would have identified with it. But because I am practicing, what problem do I have now? I'm breathing. I'm alive. I don't have a problem now. I had a problem when Remy, jumped directly onto the computer, but I don't have a problem now. And I guess we'll end it on that. Pod 28. Pod 28. I really hit the nail on the head. I fought through the awkwardness, the awkward feeling that I was getting in the beginning of, ooh, this isn't good enough. This isn't, I want to be here. I am present. I am here. And out of this, as I get more in tune with this state, this is very new. This is a very recent return to form. This is like yesterday and today where I've been aware of this, this information I just conveyed. Out of this state comes the greatest things in my life, comes the joy, the peace, the creativity, the authenticity that I desire. The meaning of my life emerges if I can focus on the present, if I can be in the now, if I can be. And so that right there, pod 28. Love you guys. Give me the keys and be in the now. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock.